Yo, it's Minosha, the guy that translates stuff you like to read. This is about minor character TS and what I'm going to be doing further on with comments on Patreon and Shanghai Fantasy. I've talked about it in the past. I almost said fast. Let me drink some water. I've talked about it in the past on the translator update part 2, I think. Yeah, part 2, where I talked about people posting negative comments and emailing me stuff and just bad faith stuff. But this one is a little bit more serious. So, spoilers. If you're not caught up to chapter 289 of Minor Character TS, please do not watch this video. So, boom. This is from chapter 282. This guy commented to somebody that said, let me pull up their comment. This person said, let me pull it up. This person said, agreed on the lowly shit. I hope the inevitable manga release rewrites it. Which is something I agree with. If you read chapter 282, there's heavy pedo shit that is extremely uncomfortable to read and sucks to translate because I gotta translate it. I don't like it. It fucking sucks. This person said, I would hope that any adaptation is as authentic and true to its source material as it can be. That's true. But there's caveats. So it's kind of, there's a big but, you know? And it's not a good one. And not mangled and contorted because of knee-jerk puritanism. Tilting at windmills. I don't think you know what tilting at windmills means, so I'm going to let it slide. There is no pedo nonsense in this story. If you read Minor Character TS, you know. You know. If that's what's going on in your head, that's a personal issue that you ought to work through. So I delete this comment. You will not lie about what's happening in the story, and you won't call another user a pedophile. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm deleting your comment, and each time you make a comment, I'm going to delete your comment. You're an idiot that shouldn't get, any attention from any other reader. Now, I'm bringing this forward to talk about the behavior that this person has done. I'm not giving them light, I'm giving the subsect of person, not the person. I'm giving light to the type of person that this person is, not this exact user, which is why I blurred out their name and you won't see their IP address or their email or whatever. You'll only know that it's on chapter 282 of Minor Character TS. That's it. So their sense of existence is gone. The only thing that you know about them is what chapter they posted it on and what their original comment said. Other than that, no idea. So, obviously, what they said was bad. They just straight up said a thing that happened in the story didn't happen, which is just bad faith. Then they called a user a pedophile by saying, maybe you're the pedophile for assuming that the character in the story is pedophilic. Automatically, you lost it. You're not getting it. This is a comment to somebody else in that same chapter that said, honestly, translator, thank you for throwing in that note. The lowly shit sucks and it's detracting from what it's worth. Otherwise, a pretty damn engaging story. Which is true. The pedophilia does take away from the story. Then this person decided to say, a trans girl being allowed to be a young girl is not detracting from the narrative here. Referencing established tropes and addressing them with humor is not detracting from the narrative here. Go read chapter 282. Come back and read this. You can pause the video right now if you want to. Pause it if you want. Just go read chapter 282 and come back to me and tell me whether or not the pedophilia was detracting from the story. Go ahead. I can tell you now, it was. And let's not try to make this about a trans person wanting to live out their life how they originally wanted it to be, which was in the correct body, because trans women are women, trans men are men. So let's not do that by trying to pull the transphobia card or the ill-gotten trans person card. Let's not do that because that's cringe and bad faith. Reactionary behavior does not belong in the comments of any story about a trans girl. Which is what remarks like yours are. They're knee-jerk reactions to something happening in your own head and not what's actually happening on the page. So we do know what's happening on the page because we can read it on the page. And you just called a different person a pedophile again. So guess what? I'm deleting your comment. Likewise, the racist generalizations that Manosha has made previously about Japan. Number one, it's not racist generalizations, it's xenophobic generalizations, unless you believe all the people in Japan are of the same color, ethnicity, or whatever. That says a lot more about you than it said about what I said. What I said was Japanese media tends to have pedophilic stuff in it. We've all played Japanese video games. We've all read manga. We've all watched anime. We've all read visual novels. Well, not read visual novels. Read light novels and web novels. We've played visual novels. We've listened to audio novels. And we play visual novels. And we play their video games. We consume their media. We consume their media. So you cannot say that my comment is wrong if you're literally commenting on the thing that I'm criticizing. This is like so stupid. My comment is correct. It's not a xenophobic generalization or racist generalization. It's just a fact. A lot of Japanese media tends to either normalize or have blatant pedophilia within their work, which is just a fact. There's a whole fucking genre, seinen. I hate to say it, seinen fucking sucks. Seinen sucks, man. We literally have the whole plethora of fucking isekai like shit being taken over by pedophiles and harems. Come on. Their media does have it. And it's not a racist generalization to say that. Come on. Didn't even use the correct word. And automatically jump to a criticism of Japan is automatically racist because all Japanese people are good people and there is no value to what he said. You're infantilizing a whole fucking country. And then you're so fucking weird, dude. Not to mention that it's bizarre to take issue with age regression specifically. It's not age regression if they're literally making the characters into children. And not with all the other nonsense that Kei Sorciera has gotten up to. They're going to move the goalpost now, again, like what they just did earlier, but this time they're moving it over to she has extremely minimum ethics when it comes to anything that isn't a beautiful girl, unless your argument is the torture, brainwashing, gaslighting, murder, all perfectly moral and upstanding behaviors. Nobody said any of that was perfectly moral. No one. No one in my comments. I never said it. A reader's never said it. So why are you saying this now? We are calling out one behavior, but you then say, if you're calling out this one behavior, why haven't you called out all the behaviors? That's a stupid thing because you want to move the goalpost. And even then, if you want to talk about those things, I think they are bad too. Except for the murder one. When you look at the story of minor character TS, when Sorciera kills someone, it's because they're evil. They literally cannot be changed. When Sorciera brainwashes someone, it's because either they're a bad guy that has to be changed, or she has to make this person change because she's trans and she wants, like, her trans identity to become true. Come on. Come the fuck on. Spoilers. It's in, like, chapter 250 or something. Well, if you've read chapter 282, then you might have already seen this. I can't remember what exact chapter it was, but Kei goes back to their family home and brainwashes their brothers into believing that they were a girl from the start and that their parents had hidden the fact that Kay was actually a girl. That was just all brainwashing. Personally, I think that is kind of bad to do. There should have been a confrontation of, hey, I am trans, I'm a girl, and then the family's reaction to that. Because this is a fantasy setting, and we would want to see that interaction between the family and them. That's just my point as a reader. But from what the author was going, everybody was already thinking that Kay was a girl from the beginning, so it would make sense to brainwash the brothers and make the brothers think, oh, my sister was always a girl, instead of, oh, my sister's a trans woman. So story-wise, it makes sense, but personally, I would have preferred something else. But still, back to it. You're just moving the goalpost again. Fuck you. They then said this. 2 more people had agreed with me about the pedophilia shit. They then said in the comments, very simple solution to anything that totally ruins a story. Stop reading it and don't waste time and effort with insulting comments. Number 1, it's not insulting comments. It's a criticism of a story. It's not insulting comments to criticize a story. Extremely valid criticisms at that. So, think again. Stop reading it and don't waste your time. This is like telling somebody, hey, well, somebody said this. Somebody says, hey, my country sucks, we're doing horrible things, and it just sucks, man. And you go, well, then you should just move. You dumb bitch, you don't think that's popped up into their head? You don't think that maybe they're saying this because they want to reach you as a fellow citizen of that country to say, hey, this thing that we're doing sucks. Do you feel empathy for how I'm feeling right now? Oh, you don't? Can we have a conversation about that? You just go, oh, I'm going to end the conversation here. Just move. You're fucking stupid, dude. So I deleted that comment too. Then they said this. Just for the sake of all those who cannot cease whining about it, I hope there's even more of a focus on age regression in later chapters. Actually grow up about it. That's what we want to happen in the story, you fucking idiot. We want these characters to stay adults. We don't want them to be aged down. We don't want them to become liberal children, you fucking dummy. That's what we want them to do. We actually want them to grow up about it. Come the fuck on. Come on. So this one was just a random comment he left under a chapter. He's changed his name each time he's commented to make it seem like it's a different person each time. But this guy's a fucking idiot. He made all these comments in one day. So automatically, it's you. It's fucking you, bro. You fucking dummy. But just for the sake of all those who cannot cease whining about it, I read that, decided, oh yeah, it's that guy. I'm gonna delete your comment. Deleted it. Fuck you. That's pretty much it. Don't be like that guy. I'm going to delete all his comments. If there's a way for me to get him to stop reading on Shanghai, I will try to get him to stop reading on Shanghai. If there isn't, I'm going to delete his comment every time he fucking types. I'm sorry if your pronouns are not he, him. I just default to he, him. Since I am he, him. So I'm using my pronouns on you. If you're they, them, my bad. If you're she, her, my bad. If you're neo pronoun, my bad. But don't be like this person. This person will get blocked in the future. Now, this is a different tangent. This is the last tidbit of this video. This isn't a spoiler or anything. This is just me saying this because I've said it like 18 different times on almost all social media websites that I've had it on. Please do not type or talk about errors. I know that there are errors. I've talked about it for the past year and a half. I am actively fixing those errors because guess what? I now have a warning on each chapter. Well, not each chapter, the most recently fixed chapter. So the most up-to-date chapter that's actually fixed is chapter 150. Like I said before in the previous video, chapters 1 through 150 are good. There's a blue warning. I do not recommend reading past this chapter. The early chapters have translation errors that I'm actively fixing them every day. The them shouldn't be there on Shanghai. When I type this out, I have to actually like type it by hand because for some reason when I copy paste from the chapter onto the next chapter, don't worry about it. I'll make a whole video talk about that later. I can literally, I kid you not, I can talk about that for like an hour. Like, holy shit, I hate having to deal with about it. I'm derailing. If you want to read what's next, then you can. This is just my warning for errors. Check my Twitter to see when I change out those chapters. This is the warning. This is the wet floor sign. I've already commented on somebody that said something about comments today, but this is for everybody. Please do not comment past chapter 150 saying that there are errors. Yes, I told you there will be errors. This is like you go into a store, you hear the intercom, and the intercom says, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all non-binary people, and neopronouns. Please watch out. There is a wet floor. There will be a sign on the wet floor. Please walk past the wet floor. If you choose to walk on the wet floor, you're walking at the wet floor at your own risk." You hear that announcement. You proceed to walk on the wet floor instead of around it. You slip and bust your fucking ass. And then you go, "Oh, how dare this store? How dare they? They have a wet floor? How dare they? Oh my god, this sucks, man." You get up, and then you keep walking on the wet fucking floor instead of getting off the wet floor. Then you crack your ass again, and you just go, "Oh, I can't believe it. They keep having a wet floor. Oh my god, they just keep having a wet floor. Why?" I told you there was going to be a wet floor. I warned you and said walk around the wet floor. Do not step on the wet floor. If you step on a wet floor, it's your own fault. So please, do not comment anything past the blue warning about errors. Please. My warning is there for everybody. It's for me and you. This lets me know what chapter I'm most up to date on. And it lets you know if you read past this chapter, you're going to see errors. So please do not say in the comments, "I found an error." I know there's a fucking error. Everybody knows there's an error because of the blue fucking warning. So just okay? Just pay attention to the blue. Pay attention to the blue. Pay attention to the blue. That's pretty much all I got to say in this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys being here. And just please, please, please don't be weird. Don't be a fucking freak. Don't be a loser. Just be a normal fucking person. Okay? Please. Be a normal person. Be a normal fucking person. Please, please, please. I need you to be a normal person. Please. Love you. Bye-bye. Black Lives Matter. Black History 24/7, 365. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Trans rights are human rights. Free Palestine. Fuck ICE.